Hello and welcome. This is SETS video number 26, and today we are going to learn how to solve practical problems involving sets. Now, in the past few videos, we have learned these concepts very thoroughly. Venn diagram of sets, union and intersection of sets, difference of sets, complement of a set. I'm going to provide these video links in the description box below. Please go ahead and take a look at these concepts before you look at this particular video, because this video will contain questions that require us to have strong grasp of these concepts such as Venn diagram, union, intersection, difference and complement of a set. In the last two videos we have learned about these two very important formulas. I mentioned very, I should have probably mentioned very, and very important. So the first formula involves two sets and the second formula involves three sets. So number of elements in the set A union B is equal to number of elements in the set A plus number of elements in the set B minus the number of elements in the set A intersection B. Number of elements in the set A union B union C is equal to number of elements in set A plus number of elements in set B plus number of elements in set C minus number of elements in A union B minus number of elements in the set B union C minus number of elements in the set C I think I should have said intersection minus the number of elements in C intersection A plus the number of elements in the set A intersection B intersection C. Now let's talk about what are these problems that we have been discussing. So the problems, they look something like this. So the first question goes like, in a class of 50 students, 35 like to play cricket, 25 like to play football. Also each student like to play at least one of the two games, cricket, football. How many students like to play both cricket and football? This is the first question, and this is how our second question looks like. In a survey of 300 students, 160 said they like physics, 120 said they like math, 40 said they like both physics and math. Find the number of students who said, first part, physics but not math. Second, math but not physics. And finally, who don't like neither math nor physics. So these are the type of questions that are completely related to sets, and we will learn how to solve these questions. Now, as always, if you want to practice these type of questions on your own, please head over to www.risingpearl.com. From the top menu, choose Class 11 Math and then select Sets, Problem Sets, and then select problem set number 8. This particular problem set will contain all questions such as the ones we just talked about. That is, these kinds of questions. Now with that out of the way, let's take a look at the first question and see how we solve this. So the first thing is, what we're going to do is we will say that, let us assume that uppercase letter C represents a set of students who like cricket and F represents a set of students who like football. Why did we pick C and F? Well, C for cricket. Cricket starts with the letter C. So uppercase C represents the set of students who like cricket, and F for football. Football starts with the letter F. So uppercase letter F represents the set of students who like football. Now that means what is given to us is that the number of students, or N of C, this is 35. Why? Because it is given that 35 students like cricket. Similarly, N of F is 25 because 25 students like football. Now let's take a look at the second sentence very carefully. Also, each student like to play at least one of the two games, cricket, football. Now whenever we come across the word at least, you should think about union. So when we see at least, this and or, whenever we come across these, we must think about union. At least 99 I use at least 99.99% at least, or they mean union. And similarly, and, when we come across the word and, think of intersection. So this will be intersection. And I misspelled it. So we are going to see this. So what does the second sentence mean? So we have a total of 50 students, and the second sentence in plain English means that each of these 50 students, they like at least one of the two games, cricket, football, meaning these 50 students like cricket or football or both. So if you were to draw a Venn diagram, let's say this is a Venn diagram and this is set C and this is set F. So the second sentence means that the 50 kids, so this represents kids who like cricket, this represents the kids who like football, and 50 students, they like at least cricket or football. That means C union F, number of elements in this is 50. Because all the 50 students, they like cricket or football. There are no students who do not like either of them. So number of elements in C union F. C union F is simply all students who like cricket or football or both. So this is 50. Now going back to our formula we talked about here, when it comes to two sets, we use this formula, right? So let's write it over here. Let's get back. So what is given to us is that our formula is number of students C union F is equal to N of C plus N of F minus N of C intersection F. We need to find out how many students who like to play both cricket and football. And we know means intersection, so we have to find out this. So let's plug the value here. So the N of C union F is 50. So let's write 50 over here. Let's do it over here. So 50 equal to N of C is 35. So let's write 35 here. Plus N of 5 is 25. So let's write 25. Minus N of C intersection F. Or, so let's get this over here and let's get 50 on this side of the equality sign. So what we will have is N of C intersection F will be equal to 35 plus 25 minus 50. Or this will be, when we add, this will be 60 minus 50 or 10. So C intersection F, students who like both cricket and football is 10. That means this over here, this part, the part that overlaps both the two sets, this over here, this is 10 students. Alright, now let's take a look at how do we solve the second question. So, like the first question, what we are going to do here is the total number of all kids surveyed is 300. So we will say, let's assume U represents the set of all students who are surveyed, because U is the universal set. So if U represents the set of all students surveyed, and similarly here we have students who like physics. So we will say, let us assume uppercase P represents the set of students who like physics, and then we have math. So we will say then M, uppercase M, represents the set of students who like math. So then what is given is that the number of elements in U, that is all the students who are surveyed, this is 300. So this is 300. Number of students who like physics is 160. So this is 160. And number of students who like math is 120. 120. And what is given is that 40 students like both physics and math. We know that whenever we see and, we mean intersection. So physics, let's write probably over here, physics intersection math. Number of students who like this is 40. So if you were to do a Venn diagram, it will look something like this, right? So we have kind of got a little bit of overlap here. But if this is physics, and if this is math, and this is a universal set, then these are the informations that are given. So 40, so this number here, this is 40. Now let's take a look at each question one by one and try to solve them. So here is the first question. Now this entire bright green part represents physics, right? And this is math, and this is a universal set. So first question is, we want to find out number of students who like physics but not math. We know whenever we see this, it means difference. So what we need to find out is, we need to find out P minus M. Physics not math is P minus M. We need to find out this set, number of elements of this set. And we know the formula of this is really quite straightforward. It is number of elements in set P minus number of elements in set P intersection M. And we can see this, so this we have learned when we studied difference of sets. But this is also very intuitive. We can just look at visually. So bright green, this represents students who like physics, right? And what does this represent? This represents P intersection M, meaning students who like both physics and math. So if you want to find out only physics and no math, we have to take a look at the bright green and subtract the red part, which is exactly what this is. So let's do it over here. So P is 160. Let's write 160 minus this is 40. They like both, right? 40 students like both. Or this will be simply 120. So this number here is 120, or 120 is this. Physics only, physics not math. Now let's take a look at part B. So part B is math but not physics. So it will be exactly the reverse. So this is physics, this is math. So what we need to find out here is M minus P. So we need to find out the number of elements in this set. So this will be simply equal to number of elements in M minus number of elements in M intersection P, right? So as we can see also the same thing from the Venn diagram, we know that this represents P intersection M. So if you want to find out only the number of students who like math, it has to be M minus the common, that is the yellow, the entire yellow minus the red part. So let's plug the values here. So number of students who like math is 120. 120. Again, keep in mind the 120 is the entire yellow, right? And we have to subtract the red. Red is 40 students who like both physics and math. We know that and means intersection. So 40, so 120 minus 40 will be 80. So this over here is 80. 80 students like math only, or math not physics. Now let's take a look at the third and final part, which is students who don't like neither math nor physics. Now, what does this represent, the one that we have already colored here. So this represents, so we just talked about it, so this over here represents physics minus math. This over here represents physics and math, and this represents math minus physics, right? When we take all of them together, it represents really physics union math. Now what does this mean? When we say union of two sets, we have seen this before when we learned union. Union of two sets means it will be a set that contains all elements that belong to P and all elements that belong to M, right? So let's find out this. So this will tell us students who like physics or who like math, meaning who like at least one of the two. And we know the formula, so this formula is simply number of students who like physics plus number of students who like math minus number of students who like both, right? So if you put the numbers, so physics is 160 plus math is 120 and both is 40. So this will be, when we add up, well, 120 minus 40 is 80. So if we do 80 here, this will be 240. Yeah, 240. So the number of students who like physics or math is 240. Then what does this represent? What does the blue part represent? Remember, the entire thing is the universal set. So the blue part represents students who do not like physics or math. They don't like any of the two subjects, right? So if we have P union M that represents students who like physics or math, if we subtract that set from universal set, we get students who do not like physics or math, essentially the complement of this set. So actually let's write it over here. Let's clean this up a little bit. So the set physics union math, this represents students who like physics or math. These students like either physics or math or both, represented by the green, red, yellow. So the complement of this set, is then students who do not like physics nor they like math, right? So we are trying to find out this. This is what we need to find out. And we have studied when we learned complement of sets that this is simply the universal set minus this. And looking at the Venn diagram, it is also very clear, right? So yellow, red, green, red, yellow represents the union of physics and math, and the blue represents the complement, right? So we are trying to find out the number of elements in the blue set. So this will be, so how many students are there total? 300. Universal set has 300 minus, we just now calculated this, right? So P union M, let's quickly go back and take a look at that. That number was 240. So let's go back again here, and this will be 240. So when we subtract this out, we will get 60. That means there are 60 students here who do not like physics and who do not like math. If you have enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe to the channel and also check out the new website www.risingpearl.com, where you can practice these type of questions on your own.